Hey Gecko and Isopod fans, it's Wally from Supreme Gecko. It's time for our February 2024 update. There's a lot of stuff going on here at Supreme Gecko. Let's get into it. So let's talk about our monthly update, and this is for February. I know it's a little bit late, a lot going on here, but I hope you enjoy this update. The very first thing that I want to talk about is two issues in the reptile community. The first deals with a big business donating product and becoming a sponsor of a YouTube content creator. The content creator is Wickens, Wicked Reptiles. The big business is Dubia.com. So Dubia.com donated as a sponsor to Wickens, Adam Wickens, product to be used on his channel. I will say that Dubia.com has donated so much to the community, and especially the 12 Supreme Days of Christmas, where they donated $5,000 in gift certificates. Adam Wickens has a wonderful, wonderful YouTube channel, great information, lots of top 5. I think every video that he does is a top 5 of something. Great information. The video in question is a donation from Dubia.com of a 4x2x2 enclosure to Adam Wickens. And Adam used it to set up and show how to do the setup, but also mentioned that he was going to put in a multiple leopard geckos in the enclosure. I think it was 6. A lot of controversy about this. Dubia.com mentioned that they would be reviewing every single piece of promotional information going out to social media in the future if they were a sponsor. And I can completely understand that. I can also completely understand Adam doing a video of his choice and putting it on his channel. That's his right. In my opinion, the most unfortunate thing that occurred with this whole process was the postings to social media that just bashed the whole process. Not only were people concerned about putting so many leopard geckos in one enclosure, but also about Dubia.com canceling that sponsorship. From Adam's standpoint, again, I completely agree with his ability and option to put anything that he wants on his channel. For me, I do have a concern about showing so many leopard geckos, or mentioning that he was going to put so many leopard geckos in one enclosure. If he's going to do it, and I believe that they were all females, that's fine, because I know that he's a good keeper and he's going to keep his eyes on it. But it just sets a precedence to other new keepers that this might be an okay process. But I have a huge concern that people took the opportunity then to post on social media and call Adam out as far as being able to do that and say that he wasn't a good keeper. While we don't cohabitate leopard geckos, there's a lot of scientific, strong evidence that leopard geckos do cohabitate in the wild. Do I suggest that that's done in captivity? I absolutely do not, because it would take somebody watching these animals on a daily basis to make sure that nothing happens to them and know these animals so specific to see signs of aggression or bullying from other animals. And it means that that enclosure has to be set up perfectly for so many animals, so there's not competition for temperature, for humidity, for food, and other factors as well. The other hot topic of the month was Morph Market versus Bob Clark. Bob Clark is a huge, huge reptile snake breeder. There were concerns about his care of animals. I don't know anything about that. I know a lot of people are supporting Bob. I know that Morph Market had some concerns about some complaints that they had, and it's not my place to jump in the middle of all of this and determine which one's right. I will say, though, that it's Morph Market's platform, and Morph Market has all of the rights to be able to keep people on the platform or take people off. As well, there was a private phone conversation between Darian, the owner of Morph Market, and Bob Clark, and somehow that was made public without Darian's consent to have it made public. And for me, that's a big no-no. I just don't agree with that ethically whatsoever. I tell you, even if I make a phone call between Nanette and myself to our sons and I put it on speakerphone, I make that announcement. Hey, you're on speakerphone, just to make sure that they're aware of that. If you have comments on either one of these two situations happening in the reptile community, post them down below in the comments. I'd like to hear your opinions. Hey, let's move on to some more fun things. Let's talk about what's going on in the Supreme Gecko facility right now. We're coming out of winter. We're chipping the ice off of all of our geckos. It's cold here in Wisconsin, and I'm looking forward to a huge breeding season here in our facility. We're going through all of the crested geckos. I've cleaned the bins. I'm rearranging the pairs. I'm taking some of the holdbacks and making them pairs this year, but I tell you what, last year we had over 50, 60 different groups of crested geckos breeding. This year we're going to be down to 30. Why? Just because I want to be a little bit more selective with the crested geckos that we're breeding. But I have to say, we are selling all of the crested geckos that we've produced in the last couple of years. For our gargoyles too, we cleaned out all the enclosures. We set up the different pairs. I think we're going to run 15 groups this year, 15 pairs, a male and a female. And it's going to be a fun year because we have some exciting males and females that will be bred this year. That's exciting enough, but we also are going to be breeding about 40 to 50 other species of geckos. I tell you what, folks, it's going to be crazy. We'll have the crusteds, the gargoyles, the Periodora picta, the leopard geckos, but we have so many rarer geckos, coleonyx, knobtails, micro geckos, hemidactylus, pachyodactylus. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a fun year. If you consistently watch this YouTube channel for Supreme Gecko, I greatly appreciate that, but make sure you stay tuned in the next 3 weeks because we have exciting news in the facility. A lot of our stands, we've been doing this for 20 years, and a lot of our racks, our stands, are getting a little bit older. Well, I'm replacing some of them with some new stands, and it's going to be crazy tearing down and putting in these new stands and seeing the results, hopefully as soon as this year, in better breeding results for these animals. The Supreme Gecko store has been very quiet lately as well. Hey, it's been winter. I've had so few hatchlings. I have added new items, and if you have suggestions for new items, make sure that you comment down below as well. How about an update for our family? Well, Nanette and I are doing well. Nanette's finishing up all of her classes, I think in one more semester. That's going to be exciting. A lot of what we do at Supreme Gecko is dictated on some of Nanette's availability, and she'll be freeing up a lot of time coming up in the next 3 or 4 months. For those interested, Christal is doing really, really well. She's going to be taking more of an active part in the Supreme Gecko facility and at Supreme Gecko reptile shows. Stop by, say hi to Christal for us. If you haven't noticed on social media, Supreme Gecko is making more of a presence known with more videos, especially shorts, and more posts on Instagram and more videos on TikTok, and certainly we're becoming more active on Facebook. If you're not following us on any one of those platforms, go over to the description right now and click on the link and go follow us. And certainly make sure that you like our pictures and our videos. Let's talk about reptile shows. We just got back this last weekend from Tinley NARBC show, and it was a blast. We were only there Saturday, but we met so many wonderful people. If you saw us at the Tinley show, put a comment down below and say hi. The hardest thing for me at these shows is to not recognize somebody by name. And please, please forgive me. There's a lot going on at these shows, and sometimes my mind just gets completely mushed. We did pick up a couple of animals. We found a female Nephurus wheeleri cinctus, or Nephurus cinctus. Beautiful, beautiful female. And we also did find a trio of Cerdidactylus elox, one of my favorite small geckos. The funniest thing happened when we got to the show. I wanted to make it beeline straight to a vendor that I wanted to get some geckos from. But as we were running through the show, literally running, Benjamin from Rolly Boys stopped me, handed me a bag of dirt, some great substrate, and handed me a shirt. Thank you very much, Benjamin, for the shirt and the substrate. Let me mention a couple of reptile shows that we're going to be at coming up really soon. The first one is Green Bay Scaled Up Expo Show on March 24th. We're also doing the Fond du Lac Scaled Up Expo Show April 7th. We're doing the Racine Sewer Fest Show April 21st. Now, for anybody requesting us to do a show on the East Coast or West Coast or Texas, the link to the Buy Me a Coffee program is in the description. Make sure that you go over there, contribute a couple, $300-$400 to plane tickets, and specify in the comments, this is for the East, West, or Southern show. And we're going to start working on that right away. For this February update, I wanted to share a life tip with you, if you would allow me. Over the past couple of months, I've really struggled with a couple of big projects. Really struggled. I would start one up and would get to a roadblock. I would start another one up, get to a roadblock. I think I've gone through 4 different projects that just haven't worked out. Now, that's not to say that I haven't had projects that have worked out really well. But for those 4 projects, it's really been a stressful situation, and it's really taken me off my game for long-form video. Here's my tip to you. It's easy to get into a rut. It's easy to get down and out if you're working on something and it just doesn't work out. My suggestion is, if you have a situation like that, drop it. Don't struggle and keep working through it and trying to make it work and feel bad about yourself of not making it work. What you could do is pick up the next project. Put it down for a little bit, pick up the next big project and work on it. If you have something that's just not working out, practice some self-forgiveness, and just move on. For me, with these big projects happening over and over again and not working out, it was important, though, to stop doing what I was doing and pick up some small projects and work on them. For me, it's very, very important to get those small, quick rewards and to get back on the path of success and put away the bigger projects that were having some failures and kind of controlling my mind for a while. It was important for me to start winning, picking up those bigger projects at a later time. Even if you struggle with something, don't feel down on yourself. Put it aside. Work on something else that you can get a quick win with first, and then pick that bigger project up later at a different date. If you're not a part of the Buy Me a Coffee program, you better get in right now, because we have a lot of information coming up in the next month and in 2024. Some of the things that we're offering on the Buy Me a Coffee program are members first videos, members exclusive videos, special courses coming out later this year. We offer a huge discount code on our store between 10 to 20 to 45% off on some of the products on our Supreme Gecko store. We are now offering first looks at available animals that are coming up for sale before we go to our wish list on our Facebook Supreme Gecko page, before we put those animals on our Supreme Gecko store, and before we put those animals on Morph Market. Our Buy Me a Coffee members will get the first look at these new available animals. Again, that's including Coleonyx, Nephurus, Hemidactylus, Pachydactylus, our crested geckos and our gargoyles, and special Periodor pictogeckos. Jump into the memberships on the Buy Me a Coffee program right now. A link is going to be available in the first comment and in the description. Now, as Sean Cano of Think Media would say, it's time to land the plane. I have one more thing for you. If you have an idea, if you have something, a special request for our long form video or shorts, you want animal care information, you want one specific animal to be talked about, you want an aspect of the reptile community, reptile business that you want me to talk about, throw a comment down in the comments below and let me know. That's the one way that I can focus my content to what you really want. And if I pick your idea, I'm going to send you a small gift as well. I hope you enjoyed this update, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next video.